Hello, my name is Bryce Tubbs. With me today is Katie Johnson, and she's a life and leadership coach specializing in small business, startups, business leadership, and ministry leadership. I am so excited to have this conversation today. Thank you for coming on the show today, Katie.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm glad to be here.
You're
I'll
welcome.
just add, I do also do life coaching, particularly around the areas of marriage and family, health and wellness, and spirituality.
Nice. I can't wait to kind of dig into that because there's so many cool things that you have going on that you're really great at doing. So,
Thank you.
and before we go any further, for those watching, if you are watching this from any location that is outside of our free community, I just want to personally invite you inside. It's taken a tremendous amount of time and energy to cultivate such a positive group of people who want to see each other succeed. So if that's what you've been lacking in these times we're in, come and join us by clicking the link either above or below the video and join us right now. Now, Katie, what was life like before you got into coaching? And really, what was the catalyst that brought you into the space?
Yeah, so I've had a lot of work experience. It was a lot of doing things I enjoyed and got a lot of satisfaction out of, but was never quite right. I joke I never really had a career because I couldn't find something I cared enough about to do forever. And so I started, I actually got a life coach through an organization that I'm a part of, and started to see the impact on my life in coaching. And then she kind of encouraged me. They did a certification program through that organization, and she's like, hey, any interest? And I was always like, maybe someday, we'll see. And then at the same time, I had a friend starting a business, and she was like, hey, Katie, can you help me? You know the business stuff. I don't know what I'm doing. And so I was doing this coaching that I didn't know that's what I was doing. And then with my coach, she was starting to train me in coaching techniques. And I realized, oh my goodness, I love this. This is what I do. And I realized not only did I love doing it, but it's how I had approached previous positions. It's how I had approached friendships and other relationships. I very much just had this coach mindset. And so it became this kind of really natural fit.
That's kind of cool.
Got to run with it.
Yeah, that your friend even came to you as a first person to think of. That's really great.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question. So kind of so nowadays, what are people generally trying to solve when they come to work with you?
Yeah, so I think my sweet spot in coaching is so many of us at some point in our life, we hit this point where life just doesn't work. Maybe it's not that it's bad, it's not that everything's falling apart, but we just have this sense that there could be more. And not necessarily more stuff, but there's something could be better. But we kind of look around and everything's good. We got a good job, we've got maybe good relationships, and we just don't really know where to go from there. But it does kind of create this stuck feeling and this inaction in our life. And so I'm really good at coming alongside my clients and looking deeper. Whatever. I heard a coach the other day say, the problem that presents itself is never the real problem. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I do with my clients. I come alongside them and say, okay, let's look at what's going on. You're having this issue at work. Okay, what's underneath that? What are the, ideas or beliefs either about yourself or the world or your job, whatever. There's 100 things it could be that have you in this place where you're stuck. Mm-hmm. And then how can we think about that differently? And how can thinking about it differently create, what solutions might come out of this other way of looking at that problem? And then it allows my clients to really move forward in a new direction.
Let me ask you this question. So, mm-hmm. I think right now more than ever, a lot of people feel kind of either stuck or in a state of complacency with the current times we're in, and even just time in general. Maybe what's been one of your biggest takeaways from, this time zone where you had to be able to reflect right now?
Yeah. I think it's certainly required everyone to think a little differently. Everything that we knew and every way that we knew to operate in the world suddenly got taken from us. And overnight, it wasn't, a lot of times change is gradual. And so we have time to adapt to it. But all of a sudden, overnight, our worlds were turned upside down. And so I think for me, one of the things that I've really taken away from this is creativity and thinking differently. For me, I'm highly, highly extroverted. And so when all of a sudden my social sphere was shrunk to my family, who are mostly introverts, I ceased to function for a while.
Uh,
Like, I never thought of myself as a high extrovert. I knew I liked people. I need 5 to 6 days with good people interaction a week
wow.
just to be baseline functional.
Oh, wow.
And so all of a sudden I had to look at that and go, I can't just sleep all day. I can't, like, my kids still need my attention. My husband still needs things from me. My work still needs things from me. How do I get that in my life in this season? And so I had to think outside the box. The regular flow of my life was different and I didn't have those social interactions. And so I had to recreate them, whether that was Zoom calls with friends or just being more on the phone. I'm not a big phone person outside of work. I became more of one in this season. Or even just finding those, especially as we began to understand more about this virus and how it operates, finding safe ways of being around people, taking walks, doing things outside with masks on. But yeah, I had to rethink, and it forced me to be creative rather than sitting in that place of I'm exhausted because I have no people interaction.
Yeah. Let me ask you this question. So for Zoom, do you kind of feel it's similar to in-person interaction, or not? Or it's like, it's hard for me to explain it because it's like,
Yeah.
at first it seemed really cool, and I think I'm getting kind of annoyed
Yes.
with it.
Yeah, it is totally not the same. It is absolutely not the same, but it is better than no interaction. And so I do pace it. I do try to mix it up. And certainly we're at a very different place than we were, say, in April, just in our understanding of the virus and how it operates. And so there are a lot more options for safely engaging with people in more traditional ways. But it's a tool, and tools can be used for good or they can be misused and overused. And I think anytime that we overuse a tool, even in a way that's very good, it no longer provides that same benefit.
Yeah, so it's a little bit just question. So part of, being able to kind of slow down is that allows you to be able to kind of maybe see further in front of you and get more clarity. Maybe, what's the vision look like for you in the future as far as you like to think or talk about?
Yeah. So I actually am in a really kind of exciting space in my life right now. We just moved to kind of our ideal location, and working with this business and the coaching. And so I think when I look forward at my vision, two kind of things come to mind in particular. One is impact, and one is opportunity. And so for me, one of the big things in my life is I want to impact the people around me, whether that's my clients, my family, my friends, my neighbors. I want to be involved in their lives in a way that lets them know that they're loved and cared for and helps us all move forward. And then the other is opportunity of, I just want, whether it's through my coaching business or anything else that I'm involved in, I want to be creating opportunities for my family, for myself, for those around me. My husband and I think very much about everything we do, not only in terms of its benefit on our family, but also how we can benefit other people through that. And so those are the two big things, especially with coaching and my business, that kind of drive me and direct where I go with it.
Okay. Let me ask you this question. So, do you have anything new going on? So you talked about like opportunities and cool things, maybe can you share some of the new things you have going on?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think one of the biggest kind of new things that I'm doing is I'm starting to try some group coaching, which is new for me. I've done the one-on-one coaching. So this isn't new because I just did it, but I worked on a group coaching around homeschooling because so many parents are asking this question of what do I do? How do I determine what the best option for schooling is for my kids? And so I've done a number of coaching sessions around that. And but it is something I'm working on doing more of. I think there's a lot of benefit to group coaching because you kind of get to learn from each other. And I especially love group coaching around a specific topic. So one of the things I'm doing right now is kind of figuring out what are those topics that I think the world is looking for that I could do some group coaching around. So I don't have any groups started, but watch my website. They'll be coming.
Well, now you gotta tell us, what's your website?
Yes, website is reframeboston.com.
Okay. And then is that the main place people can connect to you, or do you also want them to connect with you on social?
That or social media. I'm on Facebook and Instagram, Reframe Boston, for both of those as well.
Awesome. Thanks for your time. I really appreciate getting to know you more and just getting to learn more about what you have going on.
Absolutely. Thank you. It was great to talk to you.
Yeah, you're welcome. For those watching, we thoroughly hope that you found this valuable. Now, once again, if maybe you're feeling a little bit displaced right now, like she was saying earlier, maybe you are used to living life one way, but then when you get around this new support system inside of our quarantine spaces, maybe you're not around people who are the most supporters of your dreams or goals. If that's kind of happened to you, come and join us inside of our community. We have people inside who are helping each other improve every single day, answering questions and any concerns that we have, because we're all on a similar journey inside that community. So if that's you, go on ahead and click on the link either above or below and join us inside right now. And hopefully you enjoyed watching this as much as we enjoyed creating it. Feel free to hit the share button so other people get some great value as well. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. We'll see you in the next episode. I'm done recording in 3, 2, and 1.